Guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the YouTube account, and it is finally time for the summons with the awakened version of Skriath. Hopefully we get some good summons, and overall we do have everything up with this hero in the entirety. So we're picking up the signing gifts. Do not miss these at all, guys. They are vital to getting the awakened heroes. And if you're like me, and if you're building out some of the other awakened heroes like the free-to-play account with Envy, absolutely you want to pick up all of the loot that we have to offer within all of these different events. Now, there's also an additional 10 time emblems right here. And then we do get the big bonus with the gift of time, which is going to yield us 50. In addition to not only these 50 time emblems we get, we also do get the ability to have those 6 discounted summons. And we know there's also another Voyage of Wonder that comes around the hero. So I'm figuring next couple of days that's going to be up. It's going to give you another 10 out of there. And we also have the Bountiful Trials. So make sure you do the trials, claim the rewards that we get out of there. But I know you guys have been waiting for it, and I got a lot of questions about it today. Let's hop into the Noble Tavern and see how many this is going to cost us. Now, if you remember, it's been interesting because the Awakened version of Astrilda, we did pretty good. Now, roughly, it'll take probably, and systematically, I'd probably say around 500 is normal, maybe even a little bit north of 500. Now, the big thing to know is the probability. So they moved this a couple years ago now. The Awakened Heroes used to always be 2% probability. Now it's at a 2.5% probability, so it is considerably higher when it comes to the pity timer, when it comes to the abilities to get these heroes. So let's go ahead and swap over, and there he is, guys. It is the big chicken in here. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the calculator because we're at 820 right now. Want to make sure that we do not miss that number, and we'll check out exactly where the summons are, and I'll show you at the end of the video exactly where you can get those details. We are taking him all the way up to Ascended, 820 cards available, and we're also putting that 1 star on him, which is going to come from the Stargazer. You can see 571 here in the Stargazer. We're also sitting on 100,000 diamonds for whatever the next Celestial or the Hippo might be. So let's see. Now, also remember, with these summons, we need 3 copies of Skriath. So that is a little bit different than when it comes to the regular heroes, because in here we do need 3 copies, and we got one very early. So there is a single pull. So that was only 20 cards in the entirety. We did get a single pull out of here, and I don't know why he doesn't have his own room. Kind of weird, but that was some really good luck in there. Also got to pay attention if we do happen to get those 30,000 diamonds. So let's see if we can get lucky, guys. Doubles, triples, you get a lot of resources out of here. You can see we have all of those tier stones, getting red chests out of here. And I want to see where he's being used. I want to see exactly how he's being used. And there is another single. So that does give us 2 copies at a legendary. So 1 more will take him up to legendary plus. And again, that seemed like it was pretty quick. There is a light bearer card out of that pull. And I'm hoping that we can pull some of those legendary bizarre totems as well. Even there is a Mauler card still waiting to build out our new Mauler that we got, which is really making a huge, huge impact. But there is copy number 3, and it is just another single. But we got a Wilder card, but that does take him to Legendary Plus. So 3 more copies will move him to Mythic. And I don't like when we burn through these cards. I'm hoping we get lucky with a double or a triple in there. And again, I would love to see the diamonds. Essence, we're probably going to gain a full level, if not 2 levels based on the Essence. And there we go. There is just another single. 2 more copies will bring him up to Mythic. I'd love to see some back-to-back pulls there as well. But again, that Essence levels. And look at that. That was pretty quick for another single. So that gives us 1 more copy, building them up to Mythic. But it seems like we're having some pretty decent summoning luck right now with the copies. And like we said earlier, we're only taking him up to Mythic in here. And looking at the record, it's kind of incredible, because we have gotten copies of a couple different heroes, and there we go. So that should bring them up to Mythic. But we have gotten copies of the Awakened version of Brutus. If you guys remember way back to when we built Brutus, it was roughly about 400 time emblems, which is insane rates to build out Brutus. And then you have the flip side of it where we did build out Thane. Thane ran us, I believe it was just south of 700 insignias. Now, of course, back then the rates were a little bit different, but it made a huge, huge difference, because even here, I feel like we haven't went through that many cards. What, 220, 228? And we've gotten through quite a few copies. We need 3 more copies for that Mythic Plus for him. And still trying to keep an eye out, because every now and then the diamonds do pop up in here, and we have actually seen them pop up more than once. There's double wilder cards right there, and I'm not seeing very many of our emblems, but there we go. There's one more copy, so we need two more. That'll take us up to that Mythic Plus level. Then, of course, we'll pop them in. We'll get them some furniture. And hopefully with Poe coins, we will get a lot of the heroes furniture. We need a incredible amount of furniture to get these done. So there we go. Just another single. So we are getting them one by one. But that does also mean that one single copy will bring him up to Mythic Plus. And there we go. Definitely not too far away. So there we go. So that is the Mythic Plus. Three more will take him to Ascended. Again, I feel like we're not running through all of our emblems at this point. And right there was an emblem that we just passed. Love to see those in here anytime that we can pull and get some of those emblems to build out the Ghoulish Gallery. Really makes a big difference. Just another single. So two more copies. Haven't seen the best luck with him as far as double copies or triple copies. Got another emblem right there and a couple more chests. I feel like also with the red chest, we're getting pretty lucky as well. I think this one's going to be another pity timer or a pity pull at this point. Going to be a double, just another single. So we are one away, one copy, and then we're moving over to the Stargazer, but that will take him up to that Ascended level. We got a lot of faction cards, even though we don't need them. Faction cards, we're just kind of banking at this point. And there we go. So that is the final one. And it is another single, guys. All right. So 302. So we had 820. So we'll minus the 302. Yeah, 518. So overall, to get him to Ascended, 518. That's not the worst rates that we've seen. Absolutely not the best rates by any means. But that is not too bad. So 518 summons in here to actually build them up. Let's go to our Mauler. And of course, he's a Mauler. Take that kind of with a grain of salt because unfortunately, sometimes, and I'm wondering if we have the Ascended one. I wonder if I can get a free copy. Could have probably saved some time on those, but I'm wondering if within the Rickety Cart, if you have not seen this, you can actually do this. So we have 1, 2, 3. All three of these heroes are awakened heroes, but they are all at 5 stars. So we can actually drop them in. We can replace that. It's going to give us one free copy, meaning that we only need the 2 copies because of that free copy we got out of the Stargazer. So once you do get a hero, once you get the awakened hero up to Ascended, they can pop in here, which again, we could have used it for the time emblems, would have been a lot smarter, but overall we can do the copies and get the final 2 copies we need in here. Also getting quite a few insignias, and there's already one. So we just need one single copy. That was pretty quick on the polls right there. That's going to save us a lot of Stargazer scrolls. Boom, there. Oh, I thought that was the last one. All right, there we go. So there's another one, and we got a Mythic Gear out of there. So that will take him up to Ascended plus the 1 star. Again, that's where we do want to build him to. It's kind of the minimum requirement. A lot of players ask when it comes to the Awakened Heroes, what is the minimum requirement? Now, Awakened Heroes are considerably different than our regular heroes. And the reason being, when it comes to an Awakened Hero, if you do not build them out with the signature items, if you do not build them out with the furniture, if you do not build them out with the engraving, they are missing their skills. So literally there is a gap in their skill kit where you're never going to see them perform like they need to if you do not have them built out with everything that we have, for the simple fact that, again, you're going to have a big gap in their skills. So we're going to hop into, I believe it is, I think B2. Yeah, I think B2 in here is all of my Mauler heroes, just like we normally set them up. And you can see it's crazy with how many heroes we have in AFK Arena. 66,000 Poe coins in here. So go ahead, we'll do some of the summons in here. Maybe we'll get some furniture for him. And since this is kind of a pay-to-win account, I'm not going to sit here and wait for all of these to be filled out. But there we go. So we got all of the furniture limits, and they really haven't updated anything in here. Let's hop in the wish list. Now, we know we want to keep Envy in there, but like I was saying earlier, when it comes to having a lot of furniture or needing a lot of furniture, we are just very short. I mean, we have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 heroes in here that need furniture. We only have 3 that are completely full, which is kind of crazy. continuing to build this out. So maybe we'll get lucky. And there's Skriath. Guys, right off the bat, we get a piece of furniture for him on our very first pull. And there is a piece for Shahan. Now, of course, most players have 7 more days before Sun Jin Woo and Shahan are available. We did pick them up early. There's the Strilda, which is already maxed out. And then when it comes to building out Envy's furniture, having the more or the higher than that 9 of 9 furniture really does make a big difference for the hero because it adds exponentially more stats in there, makes it easier for him to do damage, higher damage scaling, which we're going to see. And there is Leviathan as well. We're getting really lucky. Let me see what we got here for our recommended furniture. Red right there on the table. So we'll go ahead, we'll equip some of these up. That does give us the 4 of 9 for Shahan. And again, building these out, I know it's going to be imperative. We just have to keep an eye out for Leviathan because he is going to pick up. And I'm hoping it's going to be that 9 of 9 furniture. Very similar to a couple other ones. There's a copy for Envy. Heroes like Leviathan, or majority of heroes awaken, non-awaken. Even looking at like the maulers that we got, looking at again the 2-dimensional heroes, the furniture is pivotal. The furniture in really the 9 of 9 for a majority of heroes is just baseline for everything. It is where it seems to make a really big difference for some heroes. For a majority of them, it's just kind of, again, right now it's kind of the baseline that we see with these heroes. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to sell these back. Maybe that'll give us enough. Go ahead and optimize all of those items that we do have, recycle what we don't need. And again, this might give us enough for what? One more pull here. Give us one more piece of mythic furniture. So very nice. Sun Jin Woo, I believe that takes him to the 2 of 9. And tank wise, I think I'm actually going to go. That gives him, yeah, the 2 of 9 right there. But I'm thinking for building out Leviathan, I'm going to drop one of these on Leviathan, just because I want him to be done with that 9 of 9 furniture. Again, really pivotal to get that 9 of 9 with the majority of heroes. And then we can even drop him out of here because we do have his furniture. We do have the 9 of 9 optimized, already sitting at that plus 46 item. Now, what we were talking about Envy earlier, we're going to go ahead and upgrade a couple more of these. Same with the Strilda, just working through maxing out this furniture and really min-maxing the ability that they have. The other one in here, I think I'm going to wait to see where Skriath comes in because we're not going to get anyone to 9 of 9. We're not going to get him to 3 of 9. But I also feel like both of our maulers really do need it. I know Umbriel we're not using in a ton of different places. Again, Leviathan, we know that was a very important one to build out. So we'll actually drop him out. I'll put Scion back in here as a damage dealer, as really the min-max. So yeah, we just need more Poke coins. Like always, it is incredible to see how many Poke coins you need for these heroes. Now, looking at Skriath, again, I'm going to take him to a 30 is where I'm going to build him out right now. We can put some engraving on there, but I want to see exactly where the utility comes in. Upgrades Malestorm Abyss level when a Sand Vortex becomes a Sand Prison, extending the duration. And like I said, when you look at the skills and abilities these heroes do possess, having the plus 10, having the plus 20, even having that plus 30 is just really a game changer being right there. Now, engraving, let's go ahead and rapid strength this up. Boom. That takes him to the plus 30. But as you'll see within the skills, he is missing the whole secondary. So missing the furniture and missing the second part in here for the 60. Now, we also notice, and we also know that when it comes to the new Mauler hero, she is another one that very similar to what we see with Skriath, does require a 60 engraving when we start looking at her skills and abilities. This one is huge because, of course, that is going to amplify the damage we're doing in there with the 60. So I'm going to have to make some tough choices and see exactly who we're going to build in here and where we're actually going to build them out because we have a lot. Even looking at like a Shahan, again, taking him to the 60 engraving, or excuse me, the Sun Jin Woo taking to a 60 engraving. We have a ton of heroes that need an incredible amount of resources that unfortunately we are falling far behind within AFK Arena. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.